The Bermuda Triangle, where myth meets the deep. Some places on Earth are mysterious because we know too little about them. Others become mysterious because our imagination fills the empty spaces. The Bermuda Triangle is both. On a clear morning, the Atlantic Ocean can appear almost peaceful. Sunlight dances across turquoise waves, seabirds glide overhead, and ships move steadily toward distant horizons. Millions of ship and aircraft passengers cross these waters every year, without giving them a second thought. Yet within this beautiful expanse lies one of the world's most enduring legends, a region roughly bounded by Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico. For more than half a century, it has been known as the Bermuda Triangle, a place where ships supposedly vanish without warning, airplanes disappear into thin air, and ordinary explanations seem to dissolve like mist over the sea. Its reputation has inspired countless books, documentaries, movies, and late-night conversations. Some have blamed Atlantis. Others have pointed to alien visitors, time warps, underwater pyramids, or mysterious magnetic forces. The truth, however, is both more ordinary and more extraordinary than many people realize. Where the legend began. Contrary to popular belief, the Bermuda Triangle is not an ancient legend passed down through generations of sailors. The disappearances themselves stretch back more than a century, but the idea of the Bermuda Triangle is surprisingly modern. Christopher Columbus, during his first voyage across the Atlantic in 1492, recorded unusual compass behavior and mysterious lights near the horizon. Later writers eagerly connected these observations to the triangle, although historians note that his compass readings can be explained by normal magnetic variation and the changing relationship between true north and magnetic north. The legend truly began in 1950, when journalist Edward Van Winkle Jones described several mysterious disappearances in the region. 2 years later, George Sand outlined the now-famous triangular area in Fate magazine. In 1964, writer Vincent Gaddis coined the phrase, "the deadly Bermuda Triangle," and in 1974, Charles Berlitz's best-selling book, The Bermuda Triangle, transformed the story into an international phenomenon. With each retelling, the stories became a little more mysterious, a little more dramatic, and a little less connected to the original facts. Flight 19, the disappearance that captured the world. No event shaped the Bermuda Triangle enigma more than the disappearance of Flight 19. On the afternoon of December 5, 1945, 5 U.S. Navy Avenger torpedo bombers departed Fort Lauderdale, Florida, for what should have been an ordinary training exercise. The weather was favorable and the crews were experienced. Nothing suggested the mission would become one of aviation's greatest mysteries. Then the radio messages began. The flight leader, Lieutenant Charles Taylor, reported that his compasses were no longer functioning properly. More importantly, he had become hopelessly disoriented. Taylor believed his squadron was flying over the Florida Keys or even the Gulf of Mexico, west of Florida, when, in reality, later investigations indicate they were most likely over the Bahamas, east of Florida. Acting on that mistaken belief, he repeatedly led his aircraft farther out into the Atlantic instead of back toward the mainland. Taylor was also flying without a watch, making dead reckoning even more difficult. According to later reconstructions of the radio transmissions, one message included the haunting words, "Everything looks strange." Eventually, radio contact faded. The 5 aircraft never returned. The tragedy deepened when a PBM Mariner flying boat carrying 13 crew members was dispatched to search for the missing squadron. It too disappeared. Later evidence suggests the rescue aircraft may have exploded in midair because of a known fuel vapor problem common to that model. Although the mystery fascinated the world for decades, historians today generally conclude that Flight 19 was a heartbreaking combination of navigational confusion, mechanical problems, worsening weather, and exhausted fuel supplies rather than supernatural forces. The giant that never returned. If Flight 19 became aviation's greatest Bermuda Triangle mystery, the USS Cyclops became its maritime equivalent. In March 1918, the enormous U.S. Navy cargo ship departed Barbados bound for Baltimore. On board were 306 officers, sailors, and passengers, along with more than 10,000 tons of manganese ore. Then it simply vanished. The ship never sent a distress signal. No confirmed wreckage has ever been recovered. More than a century later, the disappearance remains the largest non-combat loss of life in U.S. Navy history. Modern investigators believe the ship's cargo may provide the best explanation. Manganese ore is exceptionally dense. If the heavy load shifted during rough seas, a vessel already known to have possible structural weaknesses could have rolled over within moments. Far too quickly for the crew to send a radio message. What once seemed inexplicable may instead have been a tragic demonstration of physics, weather, and unforgiving ocean conditions. Other stories that fed the legend. The Bermuda Triangle became famous not because of one disappearance, but because many unusual stories gradually merged into a single narrative. One of the strangest involved the Carroll A. Deering, a 5-masted schooner, discovered abandoned off the coast of North Carolina in 1921. Meals appeared to have been prepared, personal belongings remained on board, and yet every crew member had vanished. Despite investigations into piracy, mutiny, and storms, no explanation has been universally accepted. Then there were the British passenger aircraft Star Tiger and Star Ariel, which disappeared in 1948 and 1949 without leaving clear evidence of their fate. Their losses occurred during the early years of commercial aviation, when long-distance navigation over open water remained far more difficult than it is today. One story deserves special treatment because it occupies the border between history and folklore. According to a popular maritime ghost story, the sailing ship Ellen Austin encountered an abandoned vessel drifting across the Atlantic in the 1880s. A prize crew boarded the deserted ship and attempted to sail it home. Days later, both the crew and the mysterious vessel disappeared. The abandoned ship was supposedly found again, another crew boarded it, and after a dense fog rolled across the sea, it vanished a second time. Whether these events actually occurred remains highly doubtful, and historians have found little contemporary evidence supporting the tale. Nevertheless, it remains one of the ocean's most enduring ghost stories. Why the ocean keeps its secrets. For generations, mysterious disappearances encouraged extraordinary explanations. Some people pointed to the lost civilization of Atlantis. Others imagined alien spacecraft operating beneath the waves. Still others proposed underwater crystal pyramids, invisible portals into another dimension, or distortions in space and time. Such ideas captured the public imagination because the ocean itself often seems supernatural. In reality, the Bermuda Triangle is one of the busiest transportation corridors on Earth. Thousands of commercial ships, cruise liners, fishing vessels, military craft, and aircraft cross the region every year. Statistically, more traffic naturally produces more accidents. The environment itself is also remarkably dangerous. The Gulf Stream races through the region like a giant river within the ocean, capable of carrying floating wreckage away from an accident scene within hours. Tropical storms and hurricanes frequently sweep across the Atlantic, while sudden weather changes can surprise even experienced crews. Oceanographers have also documented enormous rogue waves, walls of water rising unexpectedly from otherwise ordinary seas. Some can exceed 60 feet in height, powerful enough to overwhelm even large ships. Scientists have investigated another intriguing possibility involving methane hydrates buried beneath the seafloor. Laboratory experiments demonstrate that sudden releases of methane bubbles can reduce the density of water, causing floating objects to lose buoyancy. While the physics is real, researchers have found no convincing evidence that massive methane eruptions have caused the famous Bermuda Triangle disappearances.
Compasses, maps, and human mistakes. One reason the Bermuda Triangle acquired such an eerie reputation was the behavior of magnetic compasses. Early navigators noticed that compass north did not always point exactly toward geographic north. Before scientists fully understood Earth's magnetic field, these differences seemed mysterious. At certain times and locations, the region lay close to an agonic line, where magnetic north and true north briefly aligned. creating confusing navigational conditions for sailors unfamiliar with magnetic variation. Today, those variations are well understood and carefully mapped. Far more significant than compass behavior, however, is human psychology. One of the most powerful forces behind the Bermuda Triangle legend is confirmation bias, our tendency to notice evidence that supports a story, while ignoring evidence that does not. When a fishing boat sinks in the North Sea, people blame rough weather. When a small airplane crashes in Alaska, investigators examine mechanical failure. But when something similar happens between Florida and Bermuda, many immediately wonder whether the triangle has claimed another victim. Our minds naturally connect unrelated events into meaningful stories. It is one of humanity's greatest strengths, and one of our greatest sources of misunderstanding. The ultimate reality check. Perhaps the strongest evidence against the Bermuda Triangle myth comes not from scientists, but from insurance companies. Lloyd's of London, the world's most respected marine insurance market, has repeatedly concluded that ships traveling through the Bermuda Triangle do not face greater risk than vessels operating in comparable parts of the world's oceans. If insurers believed the triangle were unusually dangerous, they would charge significantly higher premiums. They do not. Likewise, the U.S. Coast Guard, NOAA, and other maritime authorities have found no statistical evidence that ships or aircraft disappear more frequently there than in any other heavily traveled region. A new mystery beneath Bermuda. Ironically, just as scientists have largely explained the disappearances above the water, they have uncovered a genuine mystery beneath it. In 2026, researchers studying seismic waves generated by earthquakes around the globe used a technique called seismic tomography, essentially giving the Earth an ultrasound to map rock layers nearly 20 miles beneath Bermuda. What they found surprised them. Instead of discovering evidence of an active volcanic hotspot like the one beneath Hawaii, they identified a thick layer of unusually light rock beneath Bermuda's crust. Known as an underplating, this enormous mass acts like a hidden raft, helping support the island long after its volcanoes became extinct more than 30 million years ago. The research is still new, and scientists continue to investigate whether Bermuda is unique, or simply the first example of a much broader geological process. Yet the discovery reminds us that our planet still holds authentic mysteries, ones uncovered not through speculation, but through careful observation and scientific inquiry. Why the legend endures. Today, satellites track ships across the globe. GPS guides aircraft with extraordinary precision. Emergency locator beacons transmit distress signals within moments. While sonar, remotely operated vehicles, and deep-sea exploration continue to reveal wrecks once thought forever lost. Technology has steadily reduced the number of truly unexplained disappearances. Yet the Bermuda Triangle refuses to fade from our imagination. Perhaps that is because the legend was never only about missing ships or lost airplanes. It is about humanity's relationship with the unknown. The ocean remains vast beyond comprehension. Nearby lies the Puerto Rico Trench, one of the deepest places in the Atlantic, plunging more than 27,000 feet into darkness. Across much of the triangle itself, the seafloor drops thousands of feet below the surface, making the search for wreckage extraordinarily difficult. Even today, an aircraft or ship lost in such depths may remain hidden for decades. The Bermuda Triangle reminds us that nature does not need supernatural powers to inspire awe. Powerful storms, shifting currents, immense depths, and the limits of human judgment can create tragedies every bit as astonishing as the legends they inspire. Perhaps that is why the story has endured for generations. The greatest mystery of the Bermuda Triangle is not that ships once disappeared there. It is that, even in an age of satellites and science, we still long to believe that somewhere beyond the horizon, the world has managed to keep a few secrets of its own.
It's time to study new words in context. 1. Turquoise. Definition. a bright blue-green color, like the color of clear tropical ocean water. Example: the tourists admired the turquoise water around the island. 2. Expanse. Definition: a very large, open area that seems to go on for a long distance. Example: we looked across the wide expanse of the ocean. 3. Warp. Definition: to bend or change something from its normal shape or direction. Example: in the movie, a strange force seemed to warp time and space. 4. Coined. Definition: invented or created a new word or phrase. Example: the writer coined the term Bermuda Triangle. 5. Enigma. Definition: something that is very difficult to understand or explain. Example: the disappearance of the ship remains an enigma. 6. Squadron. Definition: a group of military airplanes and their pilots that work together. Example: the squadron flew over the ocean during the training exercise. 7. Dead reckoning. Definition: a way of finding your position by using your speed, direction, and time traveled without using GPS or landmarks. Example: before modern technology, sailors often used dead reckoning to navigate. 8. Exhausted fuel supplies. Definition: used up all the fuel, leaving none left. Example: the airplane crashed after it exhausted its fuel supplies. 9. Inexplicable. Definition: impossible or very difficult to explain. Example: the strange light in the sky seemed inexplicable. 10. Aviation. Definition: the activity or business of flying airplanes. Example: she wants to work in aviation after college. 11. A prize crew. Definition: a small group of sailors sent to take control of another ship. Example: a prize crew boarded the abandoned ship to sail it back to port. 12. Distortions. Definition: changes that make something look, sound, or seem different from what it really is. Example: the old radio had strange sound distortions. 13. Corridors. Definition: routes or paths that people, ships, or airplanes often travel. Example: the Bermuda Triangle is one of the world's busiest shipping corridors. 14. Oceanographers. Definition: scientists who study the oceans. Example: oceanographers study waves, currents, and sea life. 15. Rogue waves. Definition: very large, unexpected ocean waves that can be dangerous. Example: rogue waves can damage even large ships. 16. Intriguing. Definition: very interesting because it makes you curious. Example: the old map showed an intriguing island. 17. Otherwise. Definition: in a different way or under different conditions. Example: the sea looked calm but was otherwise very dangerous. 18. Hydrates. Definition: natural materials that trap gas inside ice like crystals under the ocean floor. Example: scientists study methane hydrates beneath the sea. 19. Buoyancy. Definition: the ability of something to float on water. Example: a life jacket helps increase your buoyancy. 20. Eerie. Definition: strange, quiet, and a little frightening. Example: the abandoned lighthouse had an eerie feeling. 21. An agonic line. Definition: an imaginary line on Earth where a compass points to true north without any difference. Example: sailors noticed that their compasses worked differently near an agonic line. 22. Confirmation bias. Definition: the habit of believing information that supports what you already think, while ignoring information that does not. Example: confirmation bias can cause people to believe a story without checking all the facts. 23. Seismic. Definition: related to earthquakes or the movement of the Earth's rocks. Example: scientists studied seismic waves from a distant earthquake. 24. Tomography. Definition: a way of making detailed pictures of the inside of something without opening it. Example: doctors use tomography to look inside the human body. In the article, scientists used seismic tomography to see inside the Earth. 25. Crust. Definition: The hard outer layer of the Earth. Example. The Earth's crust is broken into large moving plates. 26. Underplating. Definition. A thick layer of rock that forms beneath the Earth's crust and helps support it. Example. Scientists believe underplating helps keep Bermuda above the ocean.
Comprehension questions. 1. Where is the Bermuda Triangle located? Answer. The Bermuda Triangle is located in the North Atlantic Ocean. It is roughly bounded by Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico. 2. When did the idea of the Bermuda Triangle become widely known? Answer. The disappearances happened over many years, but the idea of the Bermuda Triangle became widely known during the 1950s and 1960s, after several writers published books and articles about it. 3. Why did Flight 19 disappear? Answer. Investigators believe the flight leader became confused about his location because of compass problems and navigational mistakes. The planes flew farther into the Atlantic until they ran out of fuel. 4. Why is the disappearance of the USS Cyclops still famous today? Answer. It is famous because the huge ship disappeared without sending a distress signal. No wreckage has been found, and it remains the largest non-combat loss of life in U.S. Navy history. 5. According to scientists, what natural conditions make the Bermuda Triangle dangerous? Answer. Scientists point to hurricanes, tropical storms, the powerful Gulf Stream, rogue waves, deep ocean waters, and human error as the main causes of accidents. 6. What is the Gulf Stream and why is it important? Answer. The Gulf Stream is a strong ocean current. It can quickly carry away wreckage, making it difficult for search teams to find ships or airplanes. 7. What are rogue waves? Answer. Rogue waves are very large, unexpected waves that can suddenly appear and damage or sink ships. 8. What is confirmation bias? Answer. Confirmation bias is the habit of believing information that supports what we already think, while ignoring information that does not. 9. Why do many scientists reject supernatural explanations? For the Bermuda Triangle? Answer. They reject them because there is no scientific evidence that supernatural forces are responsible. Most disappearances can be explained by weather, navigation mistakes, mechanical failures, and ocean conditions. 10. What does Lloyd's of London say about the Bermuda Triangle? Answer. Lloyd's of London says the Bermuda Triangle is no more dangerous than other busy shipping routes. Ships traveling through the area do not pay higher insurance rates. 11. What new discovery did scientists make beneath Bermuda in 2026? Answer. Scientists discovered a thick layer of light rock called an underplating beneath Bermuda. It helps support the island above the surrounding ocean floor. 12. How did scientists study the rocks beneath Bermuda? Answer. They used seismic tomography, which studies earthquake waves to create images of the Earth's underground rock layers. 13. Why is it often difficult to find wreckage in the Bermuda Triangle? Answer. The ocean is extremely deep. Powerful currents move debris away quickly, and storms can scatter wreckage over a wide area. 14. Why has the Bermuda Triangle remained popular, even though many mysteries have been explained? Answer. It remains popular because people enjoy mysterious stories, and the unknown parts of the ocean continue to inspire curiosity and imagination. 15. What is the main message of the article? Answer. The article shows that, although the Bermuda Triangle has many fascinating legends, most disappearances can be explained by science, nature, and human error. At the same time, the ocean still holds many real mysteries that scientists continue to explore. Discussion questions optional. 16. Do you think people enjoy mysteries more than ordinary explanations? Why or why not? Sample answer: yes. Many people enjoy mysteries because they make the world seem more exciting and encourage the imagination. 17. If you had lived in the 1950s, would you have believed the Bermuda Triangle was supernatural? Explain your answer. Sample answer: I might have believed it, because there was less scientific information available, and many books and newspapers presented the stories as mysterious. 18. Which explanation do you think is the most convincing? Weather, human error, ocean currents, or something else? Why? Sample answer. I think weather and human error are the most convincing, because scientists have found evidence that they caused many of the accidents. 19. Why do you think humans are attracted to stories about the unknown? Sample answer. People enjoy stories about the unknown because they create excitement, curiosity, and a sense of adventure. 20. What lesson can we learn from the story of the Bermuda Triangle? Sample answer. We should keep an open mind, ask questions, and look for evidence before accepting extraordinary claims. Science helps explain many mysteries, but it also encourages us to keep exploring.